Yeah, so coming off a 2-2 tie at Maryland, number 7 team in the country, very good side, excellent side. And yeah, a program with a lot of success, 3 national titles, and yeah, a lot of really good attacking players. And I thought we had a pretty good game plan. We scored pretty early to go up 1-0. I think that kind of silenced the crowd a little bit. They had a good crowd on hand. And unfortunately gave up a goal very early in the second half, and thought that was going to be a big factor in like how the second half was going to play out. The worst thing that we could possibly done was give up an early goal in the second half, and unfortunately we did. But massive credit to our guys, like fought back and took the lead again to lead 2-1, and then they scored another one. But all in all, the guys' ability and willingness to just dig in and grind and like simply refuse to lose, I thought was very, very good, and very, very pleasing for the staff to see, and for the guys to see. It's about them really, isn't it? So there's a strong belief within this group right now, and heading into tomorrow and then Northwestern and then Ohio State, 3 critical games in the Big Ten slate. I think the belief is definitely there, which is great. And as we come into the critical stretch, I think we're in a good spot and happy about where the group is mentally. And we're playing well, unbeaten in 3 games. And yeah, we're excited about the run in here. That's fine.
You mentioned matchup tomorrow too, just with number 20 Indiana coming in. What challenges do they possess for you guys, or what do they bring for you guys onto the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, storied program, obviously, 8 national championships and great coaches and a lot of very good players. They pose a number of challenges. Like defensively, they're very organized. They don't give up a lot. And offensively, there's some great athletes out there and top-level soccer players, and there's players that I would kind of categorize as like dual threat, and in terms of that they can get to the end line and cross the ball to create chances that way, or they can duck inside into the middle of the field and shoot from distance. So yeah, they've got a lot of players that are dual threat, and we'll have them well scouted, of course, and be prepared for them tactically. And I think we'll have a decent, a good game plan. But of course, game plan is about executing it. So, yeah, I mean, and they're a program that has a tradition of winning and excellence, so they've made the NCAA tournament 30-plus years in a row, I think. So there's tradition there, there's excellence there. We'll have to match that as well. But we can beat this team. We will be preparing to beat this team.
The next 2 games I know are broadcast on Big Ten Network. Not necessarily that you guys maybe think too much about things like that, where the game's being shown, but in terms of putting this program on a big stage, what does it mean to have these next 2 games, especially very important ones down the stretch, broadcast on a big network?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, it's actually 3 nationally televised games in a row for us, because the Maryland game was on ESPN as well, or on ESPN, and then 2 nationally broadcast games on the Big Ten Network. That's massive for us. It's not only massive for our players and our fans, it's massive for all Wisconsin Badgers and the alumni of this fine institution. Obviously, it's great for recruits, to watch, and they want to see how we play, how we coach, how we match up against a team like Indiana, our style of play, our style of attack, our style of defending. And we're at home, so we get to showcase our beautiful field and facility and everything that Wisconsin has to offer to like future players.
You talked about this team believing in itself. I would think that getting results only strengthens that, right? I mean, does a team in a kind of a rebuilding mode need results just to kind of, just to verify what the belief is?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, they want to trust us as coaches, right? So if we come up with a game plan and keep losing, or we're not creating chances, or we're leaking goals, then maybe there's not as much trust in the plan that is being set forth by the coaching staff, right? So I think that they believe in us as coaches, and we believe in them as players, and we deeply care about these guys' experiences. And a big part of that is winning, and a big part of that is being competitive and challenging within the conference and nationally. And that's what we're trying to continue to build within this group and within future teams, at Wisconsin.
Carter's performance too. I mean, could you just kind of talk about how a guy like him just keeps you guys in the match like that? Just some tips, or not tips, some takeaways that you had from him.
Yeah, I mean, that was his best game of the year, and we needed him to have his best game of the year. And especially in the first half, man, I thought he made some world-class saves. Like, there was a couple in there that, as soon as it got shot, I was like, that's a goal, But he found a way to keep it out of the net and keep it at zero, and that was frustrating, I'm sure, to Maryland and their players and their staff. But usually in a game, we ask the goalkeeper to make at least one or two big saves to keep us in the game. I think he made 5, 6, 7, against Maryland that were critical to earning that result. So great performance from him, and that's exciting for us as we come down the stretch.
I got one quick. You mentioned 3 games unbeaten. You guys have been in a lot of games this year. Some crazy stuff has happened, but is there something you can point to that why things maybe are turning a little bit results-wise?
The guys are excited about the run-in, and I think, again, going back to the belief, I think that they're excited about what this team can achieve. We've showed it throughout the season that we've been in every single game. Our biggest defeat, if you will, would be the Rutgers game where we lost 2-0, and that's a game that we had a red card 20 minutes into the game, so playing down a man. And even in that game, it was crazy. We came out of it we had a lot of chances, to score even with one less player. So I think it's just constantly these things just keep adding up within our players' minds and within the group that we've got something here. Let's keep building. Let's keep growing. Let's keep learning. I said in film yesterday, we're here to teach, and you guys need to be here to learn. Because that's our job, and that's your job as student athletes in this role, is to continue to learn. And I think they're really buying into that, and I think while the film sessions can be arduous and lengthy at times, they're enjoying the learning process of this, which we're actually probably doing a lot more of that right now, just film, in terms of preparation as we are actually on the field, just because, at Maryland on Friday, Indiana tomorrow, we've had a lot of games in a short amount of time. So we're preparing them mentally as much as we are preparing them physically at this time, and there's good belief within the group, and that's exciting.